A measure is something that we use every day, not only on metric measures. We're not talking of metric measures only. No. A measure can be a measure in judgment, a measure in whatever we want to do. Let me give you a good example. The government has put a measure in order to help those who are homeless. That's a measure. Or the teacher took a measure in order to deal with the marks which were very low. That's a measure. You can as well take a measure in order to get to the level where you want in life. We're talking of the level of prosperity. So a measure can be anything, not only metric, like 1 kg, 1 kilometer, and so forth. But anything can be called a measure. So from Mark chapter 4, verse 23, the Bible talks of a very important thing there. Verse 23 and 24. It first of all says on verse 23, be careful of what you hear. Then verse 24, for from the measure that you use shall also be measured unto you. That's a very important point there. What you hear is very important. Life is built up of what we hear. Success is out of what you hear. So hearing is very important. In simple terms, it's not just hearing that is being talked of here, but it is actually the listening, the attentiveness, the way you grasp the information. We also hear from the Word of God, especially Romans chapter 1, verse 17, that we grow from one level of faith to another. One level of faith to another. What am I talking about? Faith comes from hearing, and hearing the Word of God, according to Romans chapter 10, verse 17. And we see again that the gifts, according to Romans chapter 12, the gifts are also given to us according to the measure of faith. So if faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the Word of God, and then faith is measured, what it all means is, the way you hear the Word of God determines the size or the type of the measure that you are using. And from there we see that miracles are by measurements. What do I mean? If miracles are by faith, that means the kind of measure you have put onto the hearing of the Word of God, the kind of measure that you have put onto the trusting of God through the way that you have read, is called the measure of faith. So Mark 4, be careful of what you hear, because the measure that you use shall be measured back to you. So in simple terms, when you hear the Word of God, make sure you hear properly, because the measure that you use shall be measured back to you. God bless you.